basically we can start already with the threading of the machine. In this case you should have, of course, embroidery yarn, as you can see here, and I would like to show you how to do it. We take now one of these cone. I take the beginning of the thread, put it one of this pin, and then make sure please that you put the thread always straight up to the right holes. Here you can see that this is the right way, you see. But if I do it most, for instance, wrong, I don't go or don't follow actually that way, this way, then you have an angle already in the thread and this is not good. So please make sure that the thread will go straight up, as I do it now, through these holes here and until to the front. And I will take now the next color. So this is one here, put this here, and you see, since this is in front, I go here this way. And the next one.
Thanks, Renee, for showing us how to put the thread on from the back side and taking it up through those guides. The next thing we're going to do is take the thread and thread it in the front. As you can see here at the top, where we start after the thread guides in the back, we do have the first tensioner. This tensioner will be our first thing that we need to thread, and what we do is, you can see at the top and bottom of the tensioner there are two holes. We need to start at the top and then move to the bottom. So the first thing I do is take my thread, and it is a little bit easier to take that and twist like Renee showed us earlier. We're going to twist it a little bit. We're going to take it from behind, and we are going to go from behind to the front through the first hole. The next thing that we need to do is actually go through the tensioner into the groove between the two washers, and we move to the right side. We're going to go clockwise. So we can take that tensioner, the front washer, we can actually pull it back. You can see there's a spring in front of it. But we can pull it back, bring it to the right side, let go of the spring, and make sure that it's nice and taut in there. The next one, I'm going to go ahead and I lost my twist of thread, so I'm going to twist it again and go from the top to the bottom of this hole. Sometimes it is easy to use tweezers when you are threading. It helps quite a bit. And as I pull this through, you do want to make sure that that thread is going through to the right side in between those two washers. The next one is our second tensioner. It's about the same thing, but just a little bit opposite. So we will take the thread and from the top to the bottom, go ahead and put it through. We'll bring it through, and now we are going to the left. So it's the same idea. We have two washers. We are going to pull that washer forward, move it to the left, and sandwich it in between right there. And then we are going to go from the front to the back of the second hole. So as we do that, I'll go ahead and twist that, move it to the front, from the front to the back, and pull it on through. As we are threading this, you're going to start feeling that tension. The next section is this plastic wheel, and this is our thread sensor that will tell us if the thread breaks. It's a bobbin sensor. So I'm going to take that, and it does have a groove in it, and I'm going to go to the right hand side. I am going to go around the wheel and wrap it around one time. As I wrap it around, you're going to come down and you're going to move to the left of the pin. This also helps with tension. Now the next section is the third tensioner, and it's different for the odd and even needles. With the odd needles, you have a pigtail, a tensioner, and then a pigtail. For the even needles, you have a tensioner and then a pigtail and a pigtail. So be mindful when you are threading that not all the tensioners will have a pigtail before, and that it alternates as we go through. So with the first needle, we are going to go through the pigtail. Usually I start behind the pigtail, pull it towards me, and then wrap it around that pigtail. This next tensioner also has a metal wheel with a groove, and we want to go to the right hand side. We're going to go clockwise, and we are going to start on the right inside the groove, go all the way around one time. So we have a full rotation, and then we are going to go half a time. And then through the spring here. This spring, you're going to go from the right to the left inside that spring, and you can see that spring now move. I do have a little extra thread, and if that thread is bothering you, you can pull it down, and we can always break that off, have a little less thread. Then we have another pigtail. This pigtail, again, I'm going to move from the back, bring it towards the front, and right through that pigtail. The next section we are going to go through, we have some guides, and we are going to go through the first guide. We are going to go from top to bottom. I'm going to twist my thread, go ahead and put it through from top to bottom. This is where that tweezers comes into play. It's really helpful. And we do have a plastic guards between the take-up levers. These plastic guards, when we first go from top to bottom, we are going to go to the right side of the plastic guard, of the appropriate plastic guard. And as we go to the right side, you can see that it's outside this take-up lever. And we have a guide here. We are going to go from the right to the left. Go ahead and pull it on through. And then we go back up. But this time we go to the left side of that guard. So we pull it up and then go through the take-up lever. We are going to go from the right to the left. Go ahead and put it on through. And then we are going to come back down, and we're going to go to the flat guide right here. This flat guide, we are going to go ahead and go from top to bottom, pull it down, and again, as you feel you going down these different guides, you're going to start to feel that tension. Next section, we are very close to the needle. We're going to go from top to bottom in this thread guide here. So we put it on through. And I like to pull it through quite a bit just to make sure I've got everything going and everything is going in the right direction. I can always double check here. Now at the top of the needle, in front of the needle, we do have a little pigtail. And with this, we need to push it through this guide here. You have the little guide or the little pigtail right here, and then to the left of it, you do have the screw that holds that needle and that needle bar. We want to go in between. So to the left of that little pigtail, we're going to push it back, bring it around, and pull it on through that little piece right there. Then the next part is putting it through the eye of the needle. You can take a scissors or you can cut it. Usually you see a lot of seamstresses doing this, but wetting it a little bit, and then take it from front to back and make sure that it is not twisting. If it twists, that's going to cause some problems. So you pull it through. Then the next thing is that we have the spring. We can bring it underneath the presser foot, up into the spring, and hold it.